What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and how you feeling? The moon is in Pisces. I really enjoy the moon in Pisces. This to me is always, I got the Page of Cups today for my general energy. And it does remind me of that need to sometimes get into the daydreaming, even dream interpretations possibly, get to allow the imagination to just kind of run wild for a little bit, and how rejuvenating that can feel, and how inspirational that can be when we get into this is a place where energy just really flows, and we'll talk about that more here in a moment. But if you're new here, again, my name is Justin, and know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. But there's also a place for you happen to have Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, maybe Jupiter, wherever. This one's for you. I've been telling you what, that's been a one I've been seeing a lot more, just like Jupiter and Cancer placements. That's been very, I welcome that. I welcome that, absolutely. And I do tarot card spreads based off this lovely luminary, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going. Boy, of course, just all them lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Because, yeah, this I really do like when the moon's crossing a kind of a tricky house for me. I still do like getting into that space that Pisces kind of roams around in. But before we get into that, let's talk about their ruler, because depending on when you're watching this, happy Jupiter Day. Big Pop is associated with Thursday. Oh, I'm gonna shuffle for your daily energy of the day. But thanks, Spirit. Big Pop is associated with Thursdays, and I like Jupiter days. I think they can be great for not just expanding your own kind of worldview. You know, Jupiter deals with that sense of expansion, abundance, but also brings about this sense of wisdom. I think Jupiter can bring about this optimism too. I think that really comes with Jupiter, this fecundity that happens. But I think that there's something in, learning something new that you haven't known before, just digging into something, or even just teaching some things that you have, putting the type of knowledge, the things that fascinate you. Because I'm sure there are other people who would find that fascinating. I'm just like, I like Jupiter. I think Jupiter energy has an ability, because there's that, especially when you're talking about something, you're doing something that really inspires you or just excites you. People feel attracted to that. It gives that kind of magnetism. I think that's why I enjoy kind of Jupiter ruled signs, especially like Sagittarius, that really gets the fire move. I know quite a few Sagittarians, but. Yeah, that's something. That's something about Jupiter. But some other things I'd like to think about as well when we're kind of on this day is just my relationship with Jupiter. How do I deal with him during different transits that are going on? Is he, because he stays in the sign about a year at a time and always retrogrades back into the sign. It's just like, are there certain areas that you're wanting to grow in, and just paying attention to how Jupiter can show up. Jupiter, when I was going through, was about to have the year of my Jupiter return, about 12, almost, well, about 10, almost 10 years ago, I had Jupiter going over the ascendant, and then, my life, really changed for the better. I would say overall for the better. I have learned a whole lot, and my world really view has grown. The languages that I've learned, the things that I've experienced, it's been fascinating. And so that can be really something to look at and really kind of watch that. And then understanding your natal Jupiter placement, I think, is another thing to, what area do you have the ability to grow in? Just like, where is it a focus for you? And seeing how themes tend to light up that focus. And again, you want to kind of watch Jupiter, because Jupiter is a greater benefic. So that leads to, even if Big Papa's in detriment or in his fall or something like that, it's still Jupiter, and he's still going to provide at the end of the day, so that's just something to consider there. But let's get into the lunar shenanigans, because on the 30th of January, At about 2:52 p.m., that's going to be Pacific time, the moon is going to be entering into Pisces, and she's in that waxing crescent phase. And I like this. The waxing crescent is that time where things are, we're we're just seeing what is flowing right now. This is the inspirational phase. This is the time to get curious about some things. If you've been wanting to do some kind of home renovation, or maybe you want to look into a different type of hobby, maybe you're wanting to expand on a spiritual practice, this would be the time to be doing that kind of research, to just kind of entertain it a little bit, kind of flirt with it, see what kind of things come up, have those kind of conversations with people. Hey, have you ever heard about such and such? Do you know anything, or do you know anyone who may know about this? That could be a great time for the waxing crescent energy. And I like this in Pisces because when you just break that energy down in general, it's mutable water signs. So Pisces really flows through the emotion, and it's feminine in nature. So it's receiving a lot of downloads and really can pick up like other water signs on the feelings of other and the energies that are going around there. And Big Papa really just expands that. And I feel like Pisces, that's why Pisces, I think, can get that sort of prophetic sort of, and I'm just talking about the energy in general, can get this almost kind of prophetic view or sage type of view, because Pisces energy is very intuitive and also very compassionate. I find that when the moon is in Pisces, this is a really great time to just kind of soften into the energies a little bit, to kind of put yourself in someone's shoes. And it's not to necessarily let just people walk all over you, but more so what, maybe you're projecting on me because there's something going on with you. There's an undercurrent. Maybe there's something that's happening at home in your relationships, and not that I'm gonna let you be with that, and I'm gonna move on here. We're dodging things. So those are just some ways, I think, to just kind of pay attention to this moon in Pisces. I feel that it really helps again, navigating in the space, kind of swimming when you're just kind of out there in the wild, to just kind of know how to move, know when something's feeling right, just in paying attention to those kind of intuitive nudges as you go throughout this time in Pisces. And see where you have Pisces in your chart, and see how this period of time usually feels for you. That's another really kind of good way of working with these energies as well. I think that's all I got for you there. But if you're wanting to work with your charts or these transits more personally, I was just talking with someone today about their progressed moon and how they have a real busy time coming up in summertime, fall time. It's just it's kind of a lot. I love looking at their chart. It's never a boring read. But if you want to know more about what's going on, so that you can get prepared for these things, as opposed to things happening, you're just you know what? Yeah, I do have a Jupiter return coming up, and the last time this was going on, and it's cool when you can track that kind of stuff too. Because literally on the day that Jupiter was exact my ascendant was when I met my partner. So, and it's just and we've known each other for the last 12 years, almost 12 years. So yeah, it's just, it's interesting when you're able to time that, and it's just okay, well, what new thing do I want to start this time? Where's that going? It opens up more possibilities. So if that resonates with you, there are links for my services down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But let's go ahead and switch over. And the last couple things, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And I'm going to ring this bell to bring some good vibes, so adjust your volume if you need to, but let's get into this thing. I don't know about you, but I've really welcomed this bell. That's been a really nice add-on. All right, let's get into this thing. Ooh, look at this. We got some choices to make. You got the Lovers here. And you know what? The first thing that really kind of popped up, the Lovers is Gemini energy. And when I was talking about that waxing crescent, this is, again, a great time to get curious, to explore your choices with the Lovers. You know, that's one way I can see that this energy coming up here. To allow yourself to, I think with Pisces energy, something fun to do is to play pretend. You know, what if I were to hop in this role? What would that day look like? Well, you know, what if I was to talk with this person? Look at us on our wedding day. We're so that may take things a little far. But at least it can build up the confidence, even if that's not the person that you're talking to right now, but at least the idea of the union. just throwing out different. Maybe this is okay. I think I want to take on a new promotion. What things do I need? Do I need to update my wardrobe? You know, what does that look like? So I think there's something here about exploring some options, and whenever you have just like majors coming up, you want to give the energies their appropriate things, of course, just in general. But there is something a little extra with the major arcana. There's a definite kind of spiritual influence that's going on in the mix. That's like spirits knocking. So I also think with the Lovers, just thinking about with the Lovers being about being an energy of choices, I think there's something here about just evaluating certain ones, like seeing where things have been maybe getting in the way of your growth. Maybe there have been some sort of like anxieties and things that have maybe been coming up that have been just getting in your way. You know, the Lovers, Gemini, gives very mental energy. That's mutable air, and it forms a natural, you know, square to Pisces. And so I think that something that may come up during this potential time too could be that conflict between what is imaginary as opposed to what's maybe logical or rational, and those two kind of interfering with each other, where I'm not saying that we get delusional in Pisces. I think there is a potential for that on the extreme low expression would be just, you know, but I do think that as creative beings, we need to have that level of imagination. And sometimes the things we think about don't make sense. You know, when people were thinking about, let's get planes in the air, let's get boats on the water. How are we gonna get these 1,000-pound things to do these feats? And you figure it out. Then the logic comes in. How can I make that happen? Okay, I need this, that, these materials to work in this thing. So there's a relationship, a dance that goes on there too. Well, let's get some energies here. Let's see what's going on with the tarot. Oh, there's some materials. What's good? Talk about Big Papa. Got Mac Daddy here, King of Pentacles. And I really enjoy the King of Pentacles. I think that he's one that really stands by his choices. I think that he's one that once he makes a decision, once he chooses something, I think it's not just choosing something, but the courage to take the step, like, okay, I want to get this promotion. I want to move to this place. I want to improve this aspect of relationship or make something with the finances here, is to have the courage to follow through with that, to put in the work that it takes to get those gains, to get the reward that the King of Pentacles can provide here. So this could just be an energy. I think the King of Pentacles invites a way of, okay, what are some tangible steps that you can take right now, that you can get things moving? Because the King of Pentacles is very, very productive. He puts the crops and things to use. You know, his money works for him. His resources work for him. And I think even too, again, there's that energy of maybe how things have been moving. I think that's coming up with the King of Pentacles, where your energy has been going, where you feel maybe something has been sapping your strength away here, and how productive that maybe certain choices have been. But let's get a clarifier on this King. See what's going on here. Spirit. You got more air energy here. Got the Ace of Swords. And this is like the aces in this deck. They're the roots of the powers of the elements. So this is the roots of the power of air. And this is, I think, before the thought becomes an idea, before it starts to be acted out. There's that period of just like, you know, before the consideration, before I think with the thing with Gemini is that can happen. I have my moon in Gemini, and thoughts kind of come quickly, things. But once you do latch onto something, it's just like, wait a minute, what's that about? And then you go, and then a whole world expands here. Is what I see with the Ace of Swords. I like this Ace of Swords, and I think there's something here. And maybe something here about looking at the source again of your choices or of things. Have things been cutting you in a wrong direction? Has the sword been facing you more so, or then it's been facing outward here? And maybe there's something about not being clear on a certain decision here, as far as like where to move, like how to move forward in a situation. Maybe something is feeling impossible, maybe insurmountable at the moment. Maybe there's just a lot of mental things going on, and they're feeling more real than, I don't want to say than they are, but I think that maybe it's limiting some options here, and it's just like, okay, maybe I need to put the nose to the grindstone for a little bit, but there can be some sort of progress that can be made here. Let's get some more on this. Thanks, Spirit. So you got the Ten of Swords here. And the Ten of Swords, one of Gemini's cards. This person, like, they're just weighed down with just like thoughts. But the nice thing about the Ten of Swords, there is some positiveness in this card, as it's like can like herald the end of delusions, like realizing that, you know what, maybe again choices and things that have been made, that I don't need to keep doing the same thing over and over again, or this doesn't need to show up somewhere, or I have more power in something than you may realize here. But I do think the Ten of Swords is an invitation to take your power back, and I think that's getting kind of dipping back into the present. Because sometimes when we get then maybe two in the past or two in the future, it keeps us from what's going on right now. We get, and then we start doing those things presently, running towards that future, as opposed to, you know what, let me stop and seeing how I'm moving right now. That's really all the, there may be some uncertainties right now, but okay, I'm aware of those things. How can I keep them from, it's like almost like, how can I make these decisions maybe even under like a stressful environment? Possibly there may be something kind of coming in there. Maybe there's a feeling of not like just like maybe choices being taken away here, possibly. Let's get a clarifier on this Ten of Swords here. Oh yeah, there's a lot of a lot of sword play going on here. Spirit. But you got the Two of Swords here, and this is a pretty chill card. Like we like the Two of Swords of the sword suits. This one's chill, but I do think that there is a need to. One, this is the Lord of Peace, so there's this need to maybe make peace with a certain situation, to achieve some kind of balance, because everything's very stable in this card. Even though this is the we got the Moon in Libra here. And I like when we talk about the Moon in Libra, because this is seeing where your thoughts are initiating from, that cardinal air energy. And to allow to see where you can adjust some things, where maybe you can notice like, it's like that energy is just something's not feeling right, and just like adjusting choices, changing lifestyles, of this, whatever, however this may be coming up. But I'm almost getting even like an initiation sort of energy with this Two of Swords. And this could be maybe going through even like, do I go through with that interview, or, what are the right things to say? I mean, there's something coming in there with that. Let's get some more on this. Thanks, Spirit. Okay, so you got the Seven of Wands here. And so I think that there's... Because there seems with all these, again, all these swords and just like air energy in general, I think there's going to be a need to make sure that you kind of be aware. Because to me, this seems like overwhelm, or just like anxiety coming up, or something along those lines, feeling kind of assaulted on all sides, just like overly stimulated here. And there's something about just doing things to defend against that sort of, when you find yourself maybe in those like robbed of choices, or feeling like in like a panic state, maybe even, or something along those lines, where we get, again, maybe into that sort of like reactive kind of energy. And I think that some of this stuff is going to start backing off soon. And speaking of Big Papa, he'll be going direct here soon. He's in Gemini right now. And I think that things are going to start feeling hopefully a little bit lighter with that Jupiter in Gemini. And granted, there's some outer stuff happening too, but with everything that's going on, I think that there can be this sense of maybe that you have to go with the fold right now or just to get kind of caught up in all the storm of things, and definitely just a kind of protecting your nervous system. Let me get a little bit more. Get a clarifier with this Seven of Wands here. Spirit. All right, so you got the Prince of Cups here. Now, one thing with the Prince of Cups, he's one that tends to keep things kind of bottled up. So that's something that I would pay attention to. This gives me definitely kind of like a pick and choose your battles type of energy, because his stuff can get kind of volatile too. I think there's something here too, just about making sure when you're making decisions to try to be as in a calming place as possible, something along those lines, so that you can make these more kind of like make some level-headed decisions. And it's not like this is going to be like your everyday, but when you have a bigger decisions to make, and it's in things, where the imagination maybe starts running wild, maybe a little bit or something like that. It's just like, okay, wait a minute, let's get back to right now. Yeah, it's just something to think about there. But let's get a little advice from Big Papa. Interesting. Spirit. So you got the Death card here. And the Death card, there, things are changing. I think that they're either... It's like growth is going to happen regardless. So I think that there's an invitation here to see maybe how you're growing, and where maybe there've been, of course there are circumstances that can feel out of our control. I'm not saying that there aren't those things happening, but it's like, what are we in control of then? That's something that's coming through. And the Prince of Cups, he's associated with Scorpio. He rules the first two decans of Scorpio and the last of Libras. Let me get a clarifier with this death card here. Okay. Oh. So you got the Knight of Swords here, and let's go ahead and switch back over. Because I think with the Knight of Swords, Gemini energy. I think there's a focus that's coming through with the Knight of Swords being here, because this is the Knight, or like the Knights in this deck are the Kings, and I think there's a focus here as far as like on just like what areas are maybe just needing some change. It also seems like there is some sort of, because the Knight of Swords, he's booking it. I'm just kind of drawn to his speed a little bit, and I do think that there's a thing like that changes are happening fast. Possibly, maybe there's that sense or that feeling that time is kind of escaping. And I think that there's where I was getting that message of being kind of called into the present, where time can feel like it's moving. I think it's when you get caught up in the storm here, or even because there's something even here just with the Prince of Cups again. Like something is maybe on the outside it seems calm, but on the inside there's like maybe some turmoil that may be kind of going on there. This sort of battle of But I also think too that there's one kind of last message is that there are a lot of changes that are getting ready to happen, and I think that are already happening, and I think that we're in a very cool time in this span of the journey to do some bigger things for ourselves, and just like to really kind of express that sense of self there. There's something in there that I'm trying to dig at, but I think I'm gonna leave that there. Something to meditate on there. Add a little something more to your mental realm there. But if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know somebody who would get any nuggets of wisdom from this. And subscribe to King of Pentacles. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And then last little bit here, I'm going to shuffle for your surprise card. But if you want to know what the other celestial bodies are doing in the sky, here that Chit Chat Celestial News Weekly, down in the description box, there's a link for my other channel, Alchemist Date, where I do weekly videos there. And I also do videos talking about different planets and different signs and different placements. So if you happen to have your chart and you know that you have, like, I did a lot of Mercury stuff here, here as of late. Yeah, a lot of Mercury. I got these, like, 12-sided dice that I roll, and they let me know what placement I'm doing there. I'm doing completely at random. But know that you can make requests. So I've had people ask me to do certain ones, and I'll totally do that. So if that's something that if you you want to see yours come through faster. Next ones I got was Sun and Leo in the 5th house. I'm excited to talk about that one. But again, all that housekeeping is down in the description box. But let's see what your surprise card is. Interesting. So you have the Grail Knight card here. And this is a card of romance, illusion, and seeking the sacred. That's very fascinating because that calls to the Prince of Cups here for me a little bit. The Prince of Cups can be a very... He's got a lot of, I think, these sort of internal desires and things, and... I think there's something here that seeking the sacred one is about... Maybe there's been some sort of suppression that's been going on with that Prince of Cups possibly here, that maybe you've been wanting to do something, but maybe there's been like kind of outside influence again interfering with that in some sense or fashion here. But so that's something that's coming up there. That's interesting. This card has a number 6 here. The Lovers is 6 energy, so another call to those choices that's happening. And the princes are associated with sixes as well. So that's even something that's kind of reigning true, kind of coming through there. But that illusion, I think there's an illusion of a choice possibly here. Like maybe you've only thought you could do a certain thing one way, but now there's been this maybe disillusionment a little bit, or this that 10 of Swords that was coming up. This like, oh my gosh, maybe I could do. I have more options than I had originally thought, or. And the last thing with that romance, maybe there's some choices here that maybe there's some desires going on with just thinking of the people that came through there. Maybe there's something where we're not sure if it's going to succeed, if it's going to fail. I think that's all I got for you there. Something to meditate on. But until next time, keep eyes on that moon. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you. Oh, let's get my mouse over there. On the next one, Saturn Day.